Hi, my name is Karina and welcome to the Karina Chronicles. Today I'm doing for the second time my own original Zodiac Sign Book Tag, and this time it will be for the Zodiac Sign Taurus. Last month I started with this new Zodiac Sign Book Tag, and I really enjoyed filming it, editing it, and also the reactions that I got, so I'm really happy with it. And as I introduced there, I will do this for the next 11 months. I'm going to do this every month for another zodiac sign. So if you didn't watch my first video, please do so, because there I will go on about the questions more elaborately. But the essence of the Zodiac Sign Book Tag is that I have 10 questions specific for the zodiac sign that it is at the moment. So you can do this tag and adjust them to your zodiac sign, because I can imagine you don't want to do this every month. Or you can wait until your zodiac sign comes by and just copy paste my questions. But I would really love for you to do them, so please check out my other videos so you can see how you can adjust the questions. For now we're going to do the questions with Taurus, and I'm really excited about it. I collected a big stack of books, so let's quickly start with this. So the first question or prompt is a book that has the zodiac sign on the cover or in the title. So the zodiac sign is Taurus, and that is Latin for bull. And I made it very difficult for myself again, because I do not have a book that is called Bull or Bullseye, or I don't know, and also not with the bull on the cover. But I came up with something I think kind of fits it, and that is Mythos by Stephen Fry. Mythos is the first book in Stephen Fry's Greek mythology series, and it's actually, I wouldn't per se say non-fiction, but it is very informative, because in this are all the myths of the Greek mythology. And one of these myths is about Zeus turning into a bull. And that one is in here. And there are a lot of small characters, as you can see. And if you don't look closely, they could look like a bull. They are not. I can already tell you. But it was the closest I could get to. I would highly recommend this book if you're into Greek mythology or you want to get into it. I also recommend this book to you if you want to read the books by Madeline Miller, because I think they are very suitable just to read on their own. But if you want a little bit more backstory, this one is the perfect one. And I heard that the audiobook, which is narrated by Stephen Fry himself, which is a very funny guy, is even better. So I would highly recommend this book. So the second prompt is to name a book with a character that fits the character traits of the zodiac sign of a Taurus. So the traits of a Taurus are apparently good taste, sensual, down to earth, and stubborn. So those are quite interesting. And I wouldn't per se say that all the Taurus people I know fit these character traits, but okay. A character that immediately came to mind is Sis, and she is in The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. And she is an alien, so down to earth, I'm not really sure. But she is the most sensual character that I've ever read about without feeling uncomfortable. And I also think she would have a very good taste, and she's very funny, and she's also very stubborn. So I would highly recommend this book as well, by the way. And she's one of my favorite characters that ever existed. So the third prompt is a book by an author that has the current zodiac sign, being Taurus again. So this is from the 21st of April to the 20th of May. And I had a hard time finding them. And I don't know why, because when I was looking for Aries, I only found Taurus people, and now I couldn't remember which ones those were. So that's weird. But one that is definitely a Taurus is Shakespeare. And a book I would recommend by him is Romeo and Juliet. I have this beautiful copy with very, very, very pretty paintings in there. Like this one. And it's just such a lovely story. And I also thought this is one of those classics you should have read, because so many things are based on it and you get the references more, and it's a short story on itself. So it doesn't cost much time and it gives you a lot of joy. And there are a lot of pretty versions like this one. So I would highly recommend for you to check it out. Apparently, the color of a Taurus is green. So the fourth prompt is a book that has a lot of green on the cover. I had multiple options for this one, but one that I would like to recommend is The Book of Lost Things by Connolly. This is kind of weird though, because the book is usually blue, and this is the 10th year's anniversary edition, which is green. But yeah, I also used this in my December readathon with the prompt, a green book. So I really think this to be green. It's a weird story, very weird. It was told to me to be kind of horror-ish, but it's also meant to be a children's book. It's just weird, but it's not bad. It's written very well, but it's a very strange story. I know nothing like it. So maybe if you want to find a new niche that you're into, this would be something to check out. This next prompt is quite impossible, and I already found that out with Aries, but it's even more impossible with this one, because that is a book that has something to do with the gem of the zodiac sign. And the gem of a Taurus is an emerald, which is a very pretty stone. And one that made me think of it was this beautiful cover, First Life by Gina Showalter. And I have no real reason for this, but I just felt emerald vibes, so I just go with it. First Life is about the first life of the main character. And there is a very big deal about the afterlife of these people, because they don't have like a heaven or a hell. They have two countries where you can go to after you die, and those are in war. So you need to choose which one you want to go into. And both have traits that fit the country and the people in there. And this character has a really hard time, because almost everyone she knows is going to the one country, but she really feels like she fits in the other one and she doesn't know what to choose. So very interesting and a very beautiful cover. And I really need to read the second part of this. And then the sixth prompt is about the element that is with your zodiac sign. And for Taurus, that is Earth. So a book that makes me remind the Earth. And one that has Earth in the title and therefore reminded me of the Earth is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, the first part in the Crescent City series. This book is very, very chunky. It shouldn't have been this way. The book is interesting, could have been in 300 pages instead of 800 in my opinion. But if you like Sarah J. Maas, this is not an exception, I think. So you should read it, and the cover is really beautiful. I am planning on reading the second part, but I already really didn't like this one. And then I heard very bad stories about the second one. So I'm postponing. And then a book that makes you think of the season the sign takes place in. And it is of course spring at the moment. I don't know if you realized, but we have a lot of sun and flowers. So I really feel like it's spring. And a book that reminds me of spring is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Is that mainly because of the lily on the cover? Yes. Yes, it is. But I also feel this book kind of represents new beginnings. And I really feel like spring is a new beginning for everyone. You feel reborn after a winter and you make new plans and you start new things, you have new energy. And I think this book fits that. I don't want to spoil you by telling what this book is about, but it is not as innocent as it might look. So maybe look up some trigger warnings if you want to read this. This is the only Colleen Hoover book I've read yet, but I really want to get to her other books. I thought they were just cheesy romance stories, but after reading this, I know that's not the case. The next question or prompt actually needs a little bit of explaining. I have read the Astro Poets, and this book is about the zodiac signs, about astrology, and at the end of every chapter is about a zodiac sign, they have a Spotify list with songs that fit their zodiac sign. So I'll put the list with songs for Taurus on the screen, so you can check them out if you want to. And for this prompt, I choose a book that one of these songs made me think of. I chose the song If I Could Turn Back Time because it made me think of How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. This book I've read recently, and it is about a man that has a disease which makes him grow older very slow. So he lives for decades, centuries actually, but he does grow old and he lives just a normal life, but he has to move very often because otherwise people get suspicious. And there are a lot of things that he is trying to figure out what life is worth when you're living so long and what's really important. And I think that's very beautiful. And I think he would like to turn back time as well sometimes. So that's why it made me think of this. The 9th prompt is actually my favorite. Because what I do is I ask a person in my close surroundings what their favorite book is. And that person, of course, needs to have the zodiac sign that I'm talking about at the moment. Taurus gave me a lot of trouble. Because literally, no, not literally, but almost every person I know is a Taurus. So I wanted to know them all. I could make a whole video of recommendations from people that are Taurus. So my mother, my boyfriend, most of my friends. So really weird, actually. And I chose my mother because she's actually the one that made me read. So if there's one person that should be applauded in these videos, then it's my mother. So I thought I would really like to know what is her favorite book. But as a true bookworm, I gave her 2 months to figure it out. And the day that I want to film, so today, she still didn't figure it out. Because for a bookworm, it's like choosing between your children, and you don't do that. You cannot choose just one book. It's impossible. So there are a lot of honorable mentions that my mother said, but most of those books are not translated into English. So she decided on a book that she knew was translated into English so that you could also actually pick it up if you would like it. And it's very funny because my mother reads a lot, but she really doesn't have a TBR. I know, so weird. But she doesn't have a TBR. She just goes to the library and she just grabs some books. And sometimes that's really random. And she picked this book up because she was like, wow, that cover is really ugly. If it's in here, then it probably should have a good story, because why would anyone want to lend a book? So I thought that was already funny, and I also thought it would be very funny to recommend here a book that no one ever heard about. So I asked her, which book is it? And she said, Britte-Marie Was Here. I never heard about that book, so I looked it up. Whose is it? Frederick Beckman. Not an unpopular author at all. She never heard of him. I did make her watch Anxious People, the Netflix show, because it's so incredible. And it's really funny because I, of course, came into a discussion with her about these books and also with other people because I was asking their favorites. And I came to the conclusion that I would say Anxious People here, also by Frederick Beckman, because I think it suits everyone. And if you recommend to a whole audience and you don't know the specific people, then it's really nice to say a book that you think everyone would love. So that's what I would do. And she actually now kind of did the same without even knowing. So that's really nice. I really feel like I need to pick up Britte-Marie Was Here by Frederick Backman now. And I think you should too, because Anxious People is just one of the best books I've ever read. And now my mother said of all the books that she'd read in her not so very short life anymore, that this was the book that is at the moment sticking with her the most. So highly recommend this book, although I haven't read it myself yet. And the last prompt is to promote a book that's taking place in space or just a science fiction, because I think that's very under-promoted in the booktube world. And it kind of fits astrology, because that is also about the stars. So the book I am recommending to you this time is Night Flyers and Other Stories by George R.R. Martin. I've lent this book to very many people, and it's not a whole piece anymore, but I actually do love that, because I know so many people enjoyed this, and literally this copy, because I think this is the book that I've given to the most people to read. And that is because this is a short story collection by one of my favorite authors, George R.R. Martin. He wrote the A Song of Ice and Fire series, Game of Thrones. Night Flyers actually also became a Netflix movie, and I think I haven't watched it yet. We made a WhatsApp group to do with all the people that read this. But either the show wasn't that good because I can't remember, or we haven't watched it yet. I don't know for sure. At least I recommend this to a lot of people, because the stories in here are so different. And I didn't think them all to be great, but some of them were just pure perfection, and some were just fun. Some were a little bit shorter, the others were like 100 pages. But a lot of people ask me, when they don't read that much, what should I start reading? Because I want something exciting and I want to get into reading. And I think this is the perfect book, because he writes so good, and he can make, in a story of 20 pages, he can make a story that leaves you thinking about it for days. So it doesn't cost that much time. You can read one before you go to bed. And if you don't like it, you skip it and you go to the next one. It's not a big investment, and it's just perfect. So I would highly recommend this short story collection by George R.R. Martin. Please check it out. So that was actually it. Those were all the prompts and all my answers to the prompts. I really hope you liked. I'm going to tag 3 people, but please, if you want to do this tag, just do so and tag me so that I can watch your video, because I would love to see that. The people that I'm tagging now are Bookin' with Deborah, because she is back on YouTube, BookTube, doing things. And I really like that. So I would love for her to do this one. Bookworm Adventure Girl, because that's a channel that I just found out. I would love for her to do this tag, because I think she would have such interesting answers. And Shelley Swearingen, because she can make like 5 videos a week, so she can do my tag as well, right? No, just kidding, but I would love for her to do it. I will leave their channels down below, and please check them out, because they are incredible people. That was actually it. I really hope you liked this video. If you did so, please leave a like and comment down below if you're a Taurus, or you know a Taurus, or what your favorite book is, or what you think that really fits all these prompts, what you would have answered. And you can look forward to my video about Gemini, which is actually my own zodiac sign. So I'm really excited to film that one. If you subscribe to my channel and you click the notification bell, you will be notified whenever I post a new video. I hope you'll have a lovely day filled with books, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye! I am having so much fun doing this tag, and I really feel like I recommend some other books than I do in my usual videos, so it really works out. Let me know if you're enjoying the tag as well.